relaxation. Oh yeah, relaxation. It's kicking back, relaxing. Woo. Oh yeah. Ain't nothing better. Ain't nothing better than coming up out of this evil. He came to me, let me know there's wickedness. Oh, Holy Father, I adore you. My Heavenly Father, I adore you. Say hello to my heavenly family. Hello, how are you? I am a servant of the Father's truth. His truth don't change. His truth has never changed. You can stay there, down in our pits of hell. Oh man. Oh my Heavenly Father. Oh how I love you. And to my heavenly family, hello, how are you? I am a servant of the Father's truth. Oh, Heavenly Father, oh, how I love you. To my heavenly family, hello, how are you? I am a servant to my Father's truth. May you give, may it dwell in you, may it change you, to let the Father mold you You are his clay in the hands of your maker. He will mend you. Oh, he will heal you. Oh, my heavenly Father. Oh, I love you. Oh, my mighty power. How I love you. To my heavenly family. Hello, how are you? Oh, man. This is what I do on a daily basis. This is what I do on a daily basis. Oh, I got the melody dwelling within me. Ah, yeah. Oh, Father, how I love you. Always have and always will. Since I was young, as young as I can remember, the way I would fall off to sleep if I had a hard time trying to fall off to sleep, and this is my whole entire life, okay? Since the time I can remember, every single time I couldn't go to sleep, I would just dwell on being in the Creator's arms. I would literally envision myself being curled up in the lap of my Heavenly Father. Like, I literally had that in my mindset. It was like seared in my conscience that there is a Creator, an almighty heavenly power. And I was always drawn to him, but I never knew, you know, because I was lost. Talk about being a lost sheep. Oh man, I was hella lost. Off in the world, trying to find my place, wondering what my purpose is, dabbling in things I knew was wrong, that I knew I wasn't supposed to be doing. I always shocked people. It was because I was trying to get attention. And like, I didn't get a lot of positive attention in my life. Like, the positive attention started being turned to negative attention because I wasn't good in school. Because I wasn't bringing home, you know, the good grades. But now, like, by this time, my brother had been born. So my brother had been born, you know, like 4 years before I ever even entered school. You know, so like, he started getting all of the attention. And then about time he made it to school, and you know, like, he was doing really well. Like, he would excel. He got A's and B's, and if I'm not mistaken, he was probably valedictorian at one point in time. Because he was an overachiever and more. Whereas me, I was always looked down upon as the one that was not going to succeed in this society and in this life. And like, to this day, I struggle financially, you know? But like, I've always had it within me that I don't want to bow down to this satanic ass system, kiss they ass, so that I can make enough money to have a roof over my head, to basically have the necessities that I need, and like maybe one or two things that I want, because that whole paycheck is going to just fulfilling my needs that was given to me freely. It's like I already had all this down on the inside of me, but I didn't know how to articulate it. I didn't know how to articulate why I was bucking against this beast system and why I ain't want to have nothing to do with working some 9 to 5 for some asshole that's taking out taxes. You know, this whole system is designed to keep us enslaved. Okay? It's not meant for us to be free. It's meant to be time consuming, draining, and everything opposite of what the Father created us for. Because I was forced to like go into the workforce. Okay, I went to college. I have some college background, you know, and there are some classes that I excelled in. Okay, I just want to break down a little bit about my life so that you understand the vessel behind this channel. Okay? Not that it really matters, but it really does. You know, it's not about me when I bring forth the word of the Most High. But you got to know where I came from so that you can know that there's hope for you too. Because I didn't come out of my mother's womb this way. This was a process. Okay? This was a step-by-step literal process, and I'm not even done. I'm nowhere near done. Like, I'm still, you know, I still ain't got the body that he created me to have. You know, I lost a lot of weight. I have dropped a lot of weight dramatically, you know, like, people bring it up around me. Those that knew me before, they see it. And so, for the past few years, that's what I hear a lot from the people around me, like how I have physically changed. And how, you know, 100 and something plus pounds is significant. That's a significant weight loss. You know, so, whew, I'm not done, because the thing is, my ass was damn near 400 pounds before I ever even got started. I was at my wit's end. I was at the lowest of the low in my entire life. It's like the Father allowed me to get down to those pits so that I could hear Him. You know what I'm saying? Because I had no place to go from there. You know? And I even contemplated suicide. Like, it was so bad, bro. It's like a lot of people want to make fun of transgender people and people that like really feel like they were born in the wrong body. But you gotta understand, we were born into this satanic ass system. I am a Generation X baby, okay? So who's to say that they did not tamper with my genetics to where, you know, I do act like and I do feel more like a male than a female, even though I was born in a female body. Like, everything about me, including my voice. You know? But I was so self-conscious about my voice that all the programs that I used before, all the platforms that I was on before, I would horribly distort my voice because I didn't want no question of it. You know, like, because I dealt so much with it in my physical life to where it caused me a lot of grief. Because people would not just let me be who I am without stigmatizing me. You know, without placing these labels on me and without trying to put me in a box like I am supposed to act like this. Like, look, yo, you can't put me in a box. I am outside of that, okay? I'm not going to sit here and boast and be all, because I don't know. I can't just sit here and say that I'm a celestial spirit, you know, because I don't know. But I do know one thing. is that the celestial spirits, well, oh my gosh, that's something I would want to check out. It's something, a revelation just came to me. Like, this would trip most people out. I don't even know if I want to include this because this would trip some people out. Because a lot of people don't read the sealed portion. Alright? So I've been reading the sealed portion. And it talked about the spirit children. His chosen spirit children were with him before our spirits were sent to the earth. Okay, so we have a heavenly mother and we have a heavenly father. You know, we have a heavenly family, literally, as above, so below. So there is a kingdom up there, just like there is a kingdom down here right now. Right now is a wicked kingdom, but the righteous kingdom is about to come. Like, it's reached the time period to where the wicked no longer have any control over the 1/3 of the Most Highs that have went through this 400 plus year captivity and have come back to our Father and have repented of our sins and have repented of our sins of our forefathers. Okay? They no longer have power over us. So I can pray to the Most High, my power, and ask him to protect my baby, Tiger. Okay? Because I still live, I'm still subservient under their wicked ass system while I live here in HUD housing. Okay? Where it's based upon my income. I live in a hood. I never hid that. Alright? So on Tuesday, I mean, I knew it was coming. I had a notice on my door, I think sometime late last week. Like maybe on Friday. They had a notice on the door saying that we will be coming to do an inspection, okay? I forget what kind of inspection they called it, but it doesn't matter. They're coming in my house, okay? So the freaking property management, you know, along with maintenance, come in my apartment, okay? And they got a clipboard. They want to know that you're keeping up the cleanliness and the maintenance. You know, like as if we were not the ones that actually taught them how to be clean. They don't know who they're dealing with. They have no idea that I have been awakened to know who I am. As this lady gonna ask me about Tiger. And if I had given them paperwork and documentation that I am able to have him because of emotional needs or some kind of other appropriate reason according to them, okay? Like I can't just have a pet. They claim, they say that under their rules, but see at the time that I got him, the property management that was the property manager told me that I could get a kitty, okay? Because I told her I don't have a lot of friends and that, you know, I really need a companion because I am alone a lot. And that's not a lie. When you're in this truth, it's a narrow path. You don't have a lot of people to talk to, okay? So I think I had started recording around about the same time that I ended up getting him, but I wasn't uploading it anywhere. I was just recording it, you know, so I had no social. I'm just by myself, you know. So I really needed a kitten, and it had been my deepest desire for years. You know, like I've had cats before, and there's tragic stories to them. And at the same time, I've done a lot of growing in the spirit of truth to really know how to treat, you know, an animal that was created by the Most High. You know, he has had a lot of love. Like you can tell the way me and him interact. He is very, very tame, you know. Like, he is a good boy. Because he's had a lot of love. Like, love, 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 love. Singing to him. Grooming him. You know, I give him baths. He gets a bath like once every 3 or 4 months or so. I try not to do it so often, but he needs one very soon. It's been about 3.5 months. But anyway, that being said, he gets baths. I dry him off. We cuddle. I raised him since he was 1.5 months old. He had just been weaned. When I got him. He was a baby. And I trained him. I taught him how to use his poopy box in love. Never once had to hit him. You know how I trained him how to use his poopy box? Anytime he poopied on the carpet, he was tiny. Mind you, he's very tiny. So anytime he poopy on the carpet, I would go to him and I would pick him up and I would take him to the poopy spot and I would sternly say, like, I'm gently holding him, but I sternly say, no poopy here. No poopy on my floor. No poopy on the carpet. And then I would hold him and I would come get the scooper to scoop it up. And then I would keep holding him and take him back to the spot. And while I'm holding him, scoop it up. While I'm holding him, bring it to the litter box, put it in a litter box, and then place him gently in the litter box and sternly say, poopy here. You poopy here. And he understood after doing that a few times. I never once had to spank him. Now, it was a little bit more harder for the pee because the pee, you can't see it. I had to actually catch him in the act. Like, I would smell it, but it would be too late to discipline him for it because he wouldn't understand. So when I catch him in the act of the pee, I would get him and put him in the poopy box. Now hold on, let me give him some food. It is so hot. I sweat a lot. Well, it's like a sauna. Like, for real, for real. Whew. Oh, man. Oh. Dang, it's dark. Whew. Okay, so I was talking about Tiger. It would be really inhumane to separate us. It's not my fault that they change management so often, But I've had him going on 2 years now. And we are attached. I've taught him how to walk on a leash, And he loves me. That would break his heart to be torn away from me, and it's not going to happen. I prayed to the Father, because I prayed for him, you know what I'm saying? Like, I literally prayed for him
for years before I got him. The last cat that I had, his name was X. And there were several tomcats, that I knew. Like, cats just gravitate to me. Cats like me, and I like cats. Like, I got a cat friend that, is a female cat. And so, like, I got a video about that. I got more videos that show of them meeting each other. Like, so, like, anyway, I was made to get rid of X, and I had him when he was a kitten, but back then, I didn't even really know how to treat cats right. Like, I thought that I was above them, and, like, I loved them in my way, but I didn't love them the way that the Father loves them, and I didn't love them as I love myself. But now, I love Tiger as I love myself. Like, I wouldn't do anything to him that I wouldn't want done to me. Now, I know he wants to go outside, but even if I was a cat, I would not want to be unprotected. He just doesn't know that, but I know that. I know that he would be unprotected out there without me, and that's why we go out on a leash. I won't just let him go out there and just roam around, because I've had instances. Like, I had another cat, his name was Shadow, and this is a very sad story, and I really don't like telling it because it really makes me sad, and it makes everybody sad that hears it. And I really don't want to tell it, but I guess I will, so that people can understand my purpose for really not wanting to separate with Tiger. So the story with Shadow, I got Shadow, then Scrappy, okay, because I had Shadow for a while, and then Scrappy, we took him on later. Okay, so he wasn't a brother to Shadow, but I had two cats. So I had one cat with Shadow, and then later we basically adopted Scrappy, and he was a neighborhood cat, and so we adopted him. And he was an orange, or like an orange golden type color cat. So anyway, there was this maintenance dude that lived in that apartment complex, and he smoked bud, and he hung out with me and my roommate at the time. It was my apartment, but I was allowing my manager to stay there with me. His name was Kevin. And we all smoked bud together, and just like hung out, drunk and whatnot. This was when I was back off in the world, okay? So anyway, I don't remember like what happened, but like this dude offered to like pay for something for me. He had offered to pay for something. I don't remember what it was, but I didn't ask him, cause I know me. I never ask people for like I won't ask you. So anyway, back then I know I didn't ask him, but it was an offer that he offered. This dude was just straight evil, okay? This dude was evil. But he knew Shadow. And Shadow knew him. And anyway, he offered to pay for something. I forget how much money it was. But he offered to pay for something. And I agreed to let him do it. And then he got into a situation where he desperately needed money. And I didn't have the money to give to him at the time. And so, come to find out, like, there had been a few days go by and Shadow ain't come home. And then, he comes home and he's like really sick. And then he starts like bleeding through all of his like orifices. It was like a horrible story. And like I literally watched him die. And I grew a bond with him, not as tight as me and Tiger's bond, but I grew a bond with him. And then come to find out, this dude had poisoned him with antifreeze, So that really, shattered me. That hurt me really bad. And it was hard for me to deal with it. And, we still had Scrappy, and Scrappy, like, we would let Shadow out. Shadow, I let him, come and go as he wanted. I thought it was, cool to like let a cat, if a cat wants to go out, let him go. But now I'm not doing that with Tiger because of this. People are evil. People are straight up freaking evil. So this dude he knew Shadow, and Shadow trusted him. Like, so Shadow would go over to his house and he would feed him. They had a relationship too. And then this dude poisoned him with antifreeze because Shadow trusted him. And I didn't know it at the time. But then the dude disappeared, and it's probably a good thing, because if I had found him, I probably would have done something that I would have had to live with. But that was really hard for me to deal with that. And then my next set of cats, we got them together, Zulu and X. And Zulu was the brave one. Zulu was very brave. And whenever we were chilling out on the porch, smoking, drinking, just hanging out, Zulu would come out and hang out with us outside on the porch. But X, we called him Malcolm X. He didn't want to come out. He didn't want to come out with his brother. And when we first brought them home, Zulu was the first one to peek his head around and like come forward. Like, like we were waiting for him. Like, that's how you do. You set them down, let them feel their way around, let them come to you. So you don't traumatize them. You let them come to you. So anyway, we set them down in the kitchen, in an open box. We tilted it so that they can come out. And then we went out to the living room at the time, and Kevin was still living with me at that time. So we're just chilling, waiting for the kitties. And we see Zulu's head peek around the corner. It was so cute. And we see him come on out a little bit, and as Zulu comes out, we see the little head of little X, and he's behind his brother, and he's staying behind his brother the whole time with his tail tucked behind his brother, and Zulu just boldly comes on out and comes up to us, and he just comes up to us, and yeah. So Zulu was real cool. He'd come out and he'd chill with us on the porch. But X, he was always kind of skitsy. Malcolm was always kind of skitsy. And it was Kevin that actually, coined Malcolm. And he called him Malcolm most of the time, but I most of the time called him X. But anyway, so what happened with Zulu was Kevin, we had roaches pretty bad, okay? So we were trying to get rid of the roaches, but Kevin's ass brung the damn roaches to my house. And that's a story I don't really want to tell. But I told you in the beginning of my channel that I got a lot of stories to tell. I really do. Because I've lived a long life. It seems like I lived a freaking 100 years with the amounts of stories that I could tell. But like, I'm 45. I'm 45 years old, and like, dang, bro, I got stories. So anyway, this dude brung buku roaches to my place, and it pissed me off. But anyway, he was trying to kill the roaches, and he got poison. Okay, he got this poison powder. I forget what it was called. I forget what the freaking poison was called. It was some kind of powder. And he put that crap down all over the freaking apartment, and Zulu got in it. And again, I have another cat that literally dies in front of me. Like, literally dies, in my apartment, And it was very, very troubling, because this is the second cat that I've seen die under my care. This is my cat. And then I never got to see them grow up, I still had X. I still had his brother X. But in order to get my mom's help, because I hit troubled times and I needed help, And in order for my mother to help me, she made me get rid of X. You made me get rid of my cat. And his house that somebody gave me, a cat house. He had a cat. He had some cool stuff. The type of litter box he had was like a cat house. It was really nice. And them things are expensive, and somebody just gave it to me. I had a cat carrier. Like, they literally, my mother and my stepdad, literally, they made me get rid of all of that. They made me get rid of all of it before they would help me. Like, they told me to put them out. Like, we had a bond, but at that time, I didn't, like, there's no way that I would do it now with Tiger. That this is what this whole thing is about. Because it's different now. At that time, I didn't know any better. And I know now that he felt that was painful for him. It was painful for me too. But that was wrong of me to do that. That's what my mom and Leslie don't understand, and that's what I didn't understand. That it was wrong for me to do that. I really, literally should have trusted the Most High and said no. I really should have. Like, if I had have known how the Father sees them, I wouldn't have done that, because X was very domesticated, and he was already skitsy. He was already scared. He was not the type of cat to be on his own. Like, I told you the story on how he always stayed behind his brother, and then his brother died, and I'm all he knows. Me and Kevin is all he knows. But see, at this time, Kevin had moved out, so I needed help, and in order for them to help me, I had to get rid of X. And so I literally had to put him outside. And I would see him come, and I would see him come, and I was not allowed to let him in, Like, they told me if they see him in again, that they would never help me again. So, like, I literally had to watch him, come cry at my door to be let in. And I did go out to pet him. I did go outside to pet him. At that time I had a patio, and I would see him, climb up on the patio, and I would go outside, but I never let him back in, because I was told by my mom and by my stepdad that they would not help me if I had a cat, because they, in their mind, I don't need help if I'm taking care of a cat. Like, how can I take care of a cat when I can't even take care of myself? And so they were just heartless when it came to the fact that I'm emotionally attached to the cat, and that the cat is emotionally attached to me. So anyway, I didn't really have another cat after that. I had, strays that would come by and chill with me, but that was my last cat that I had a bond with, named X. And now I prayed for many, many years. For many, many years. And when I had X, I didn't even treat him right. I didn't clean his poopy box right. Like, his poopy box would be dirty, and like I'll admit that I was bad about it. I didn't clean his poopy box often the way I should have. I've done a lot of growing. Like, hell, I was never really, the neatest person, but now you come to my place now and it's freaking neat, because like that's the fruit that's produced in my life, through the changes that the Father has done in my life. So I said all of that so that people that listen to my channel and may, even stumble across this video, they understand where I'm coming from, how I'm not going to let this apartment complex separate Tiger from me. I don't care about their rules. And then she had the nerve to be like, I gotta provide her with documentation that he done had his shots. Look here, I don't adhere to this wicked ass system. Tiger is very healthy. Tiger is, I don't know if he had shots before the guy that I got him from, but he was only a month and a half old. He could have had some shots, but he didn't give me the documentation. I'm not taking my baby to a vet to let them freaking inject him with poison. No, I'm not doing it. Tiger has no worms. Like I've had a lot of cats. You just heard the story, okay? And all my cats before were sickly. They were all sickly, and I didn't know why. I know why now, because of the crap that we were feeding them. We were feeding them we were feeding them that cheap crap. You know, we didn't care what type of food we got them, as long as it said cat food, we got it. The cheaper the better in my mindset at that time. But now I have never bought Tiger that crap. I have bought him the best. Well, not the best, you know, because I can't afford the best. But I buy him one better than the crap, okay? Put it that way. It has to at least have the meat first. So the meat, the ingredient that's on the package, it has to actually say, you know, chicken or turkey, salmon, or whatever meat they're using. Okay, it has to say that first, not grain, not, you know, not whatever the hell else they put there. It has to actually have the meat, like the protein, their protein, not our protein. Okay, their protein, because our protein comes from plants, but they don't eat plants and they don't eat fruits. They eat flesh. Okay, so for him, it has to have their protein first, not corn, not no grain, because that stuff that was not good for my cats, and I physically seen that with my own eyes, and I didn't understand it at that time on why all my cats had worms. Like we would see them with worms, you know, they all had worms, and I thought that it was just a cat thing. But Tiger, he has no worms. I don't have to clean no worms out his poopy box. He is very healthy, and I'm told that a lot. When I take him out on walks and when I'm walking him on a leash, people are impressed. People are amazed, and I get a lot of compliments, you know, over him. Like, and people tell me, wow, that is a very healthy looking cat. And he don't have to get no damn shots. He is healthy. I am not going to take him to these devils to inject him with their poison. No. And this apartment complex is not going to take him from me. And if it comes down to the fact that they tell me that they're going to evict me if I don't get rid of him, then I guess I have no place to go. And I'm going to put my trust in the Most High, because the Most High will know where I'm going to be going next. Maybe my time will be up at that point. I don't know. I know one thing right now. I got freaking $6 in my bank account. My Snap balance, you know, December 10th, I was supposed to have a renewal of my SNAP benefits, and I never got it. And I was having a dinner party that night. I was having a dinner, well, not that night, not on the 10th, but I think on like the 12th. So my Aki came to pick me up to take me to the store. You know, we were having a dinner party that night. And come to find out, I called my card, and it said I had $22 on my card in my Snap balance. All right. And mind you, it's 2 days after the 10th, so I'm tripping. I'm like, what? What do you mean? And at that time, I only had like freaking, $20 in my freaking bank account. Like, I literally be down to like $20. Now I'm down to freaking $6. Like, people think this is a freaking joke. People think this is a game. Like, I am not proud of this, but I am a child of the Most High. I have always struggled financially, but the Father has tremendously blessed me as far as this wisdom and knowledge and changing my life around for the better, as far as, you know, fruit being produced, you know, and keeping my place clean, and all the amount of word that's within me, and getting these videos out. Like, all of this is coming from Him. Even the music that's within me. Like, I am filled with music, you know. So I don't know how all of this is going to come together. I don't know what all the plans that the Father has for my life. But I do know that I'm not worried. Like, some people, if they were, especially white people, and I'm not picking on you, okay, white people that's listening to my video, that's listening to my channel, many of you would not be able to handle what my life has been. Like, you seriously would not be able to handle it. You would have blown your brains out a long time ago. That you just wouldn't been able to deal. Okay? White people love their money. Alright? Take the money from them and they lose their mind. I've lived my whole life with no money. You know, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. And I'm at peace. And that's one thing that I thank the Father for, because you would think that I'd be terrified in this situation. You think I'm lying? You know what I mean? Like, what do I gotta do? Like, take a screenshot of my bank account of how much money I literally have in my bank account? I have $6.46 as of 6:49 a.m. this morning. My bank alert. I get texted my balance daily. They're about to raise my rent. You know, they just contacted me and wanted me to send them my invoices on, you know, how much I made from June. So June 1st. So all my invoices, you know, that I got paid since June 1st, and mind you, was not a lot. You know, with the amount of crap I had coming out, you know, paying the rent and keeping my phone on, keeping my internet on, and barely having money for smokes and whatnot. It's been a struggle, man. Ever since I lost my car at the beginning of this year, which was my fault, I own up to that. I got a video about it. You know, I forget which one it was. I forget which video. Either it was Elevation or An Angel Heal Me or one of them videos. Talk about how I lost my car. You know, being stupid. Road rage, you know. But I made pretty good money doing DoorDash for the most part. And then, you know, when I wrecked my car, I didn't have no income. But I did pretty well for myself as an independent contractor, and I really truly love doing DoorDash. You know, and I could fast a lot too, and a lot of times I would. But see, at that time, I was still consuming dairy. I'm not trying to be all over the place, but just, you know, want to get to know who the person is behind this channel. You're hanging with me, might as well listen. So DoorDash was great for all of 2020. I was still consuming dairy, but I would fast from food all day, and I would dash, you know, and I made pretty good money doing that, and it was nice. It was lovely. I loved it. I hate that I lost all my freaking video from it, because I took lots of video. But anyway, I wrecked my car. That went my income. And so the father actually used my mom. He went through my mom. He basically sent a job to her and used her to give that job to me, because my mom works for the state, for Workforce, Oklahoma. Her job is to get jobs for people. And my brother's job is to get unemployment for people. He works for the state as well. Both of them, you know, they're like, you should work for the state and all of this. And I'm like, I don't want to work a freaking 9 to 5. I never wanted to be a part of this system, you know. I've always wanted to find my own way. Like, how am I going to make it in this world, you know, financially, without having to bow the knee to this corrupt ass system, to where I'm struggling. I hate it. Okay, I literally hated working 40 plus hours a week, you know, being exhausted, waking up to an alarm. Man, that was torture to my body. You know, torture having to be awake at a certain time, and I'm having trouble sleeping because I'm not sure if I'm going to get enough sleep. So now this is creating insomnia, you know? And at the time I wasn't dwelling on the Most High. You know, I went through a period in my life to where the Most High was the last thing on my mind. You know, this was like in my late teen, in my 20s and 30s and whatnot. You know, that was my wild days, you know? Like, I was just doing everything of the flesh. And I was not thinking of the spirit at all. In the least bit. I wasn't even thinking about truth. You know, in my teens and whatnot. You know, and even in my 20s. Like, in my mid 20s is when I started getting into the truth, around 2011. So however old I was in 2000 or 2001, not 2011, 2001, 25 years old. So 25, like from 24 to 25, by the time I got to 25 years old, I started questioning. Well, I've always had questions, but nobody could answer them for me, okay? So my dad sends me a computer in like 2000 or 2000, like right around that time. It was like either the year 2000 or 2001. I was either 24 or 25 when my dad sent me my first computer, okay? And I used this computer to learn about all the things I had ever been curious about. One of the first things I looked up was aliens and UFOs because I had always been fascinated about it. I looked up the Bermuda Triangle and all of these things because those are the type of things that fascinated me. At this time, I thought the Earth was a globe. You know, I loved NASA. I loved the Hubble pictures. Like that was my screensaver. Okay, the Hubble pictures, that was my screensaver. I loved the nebulas and all of those things. I didn't know it was CGI. But you know what? I think it was somebody from Cox, a technician from Cox, had said something to me about it at that time when they seen my screen. They were like, you know that's CGI, right? I ain't know what the hell he was talking about. I'm like, what? And he kind of just blew it off like, I'm not ready. And I didn't pursue it because I had no idea what he was talking about. You know, so anyway, I remember that now, though. I remember it now like, dang, somebody literally tried to tap me way back then about the Earth not being what we've been told that it is. So, anyway, why did I say all of that? I'm just going through my life. You know, at this time, I wasn't seeking the Father. You know, at the age, even when I was looking into, you know, stuff, and then I was actually still led by the Spirit of truth in the things that I was finding, because I found out about the government, and you know that these were things that I was always curious about. Who is running this world? I wanted to know, why are things the way that it is? And I went on a hunt. I went down the rabbit holes. I was not afraid. I went down head first, okay? Tumbling for years. Many years. But yet, I still wasn't acknowledging the Father. So I did a lot of things in my life that I'm not proud of, you know. So back to the DoorDash. Yes, at that time I was consuming a lot of dairy, but I would fast. I was able to fast with it, and you would think that it would have been hard with the fact that I'm carrying around dead flesh and blood, and I could smell it, and it would make me nauseous. It was a good thing that I wasn't eating, but I was drinking a lot of coffee from McDonald's with their creamer, which was still abominable, and I didn't know it at the time. Especially because they're putting aborted fetal cells in it, you know. all kinds of wickedness. These people are wicked. Not to mention the blood and the pus. These people are wicked. You know, and I would drink like 3 cups a day. You know, I would go in at least two, sometimes 3. But I was fasting a lot from food. You know. But anyway, I guess I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this on up. But this is a little bit about my life. For those that are interested, shalom.